enough, the next game is going to be the most important, especially given how much pressure he's under.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just not sure where he's going with that. But I mean, yeah, the position Manchester United have put themselves in, Amorim's had enough time now where the team should be in a lot better rhythm than they are. I think they now have a pretty set starting 11. So maybe that deserves a couple more games, but not many. So yeah, I think that's the reason why the next game is the game, because for someone who's had quite a lot of time and been able to get players he wants and a lot of time working on the system that initially he said it was because he didn't have time to work on it. Well, now they definitely have had time. It's not really looking like it's any better oiled. It's still very clunky and unconvincing.
Yeah, that's why the win against Chelsea was so important for them. But I think that pressure kind of just rolls on to the next game, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, when it went 10-10, the United were hanging on. This is a very, very flattering 2-1 win. Because for me, they weren't impressive at all. They're still disorganised at the back and unconvincing. I want to give you a couple of stats, actually.
Go for it.
Man United have lost more games under Amorim than Arsenal have in their last 3 seasons.
Wow.
And that tells you all about how poor they are. They've still yet to record back-to-back Premier League victories under Amorim. And if Brentford beat them, it will be the first time Brentford have done it. I think, well, sorry, the 3rd time in a row that Brentford have done it, because obviously they've beaten them each of the last 2 seasons. So I think I'm sad for Amorim because I had such big expectations. I was on this show when the news broke and I was gushing about him and I was such a big fan. But when you look at him now, when you look at the side, when you look at everything around it, the magic has gone and it's clearly not working. And our jobs is to come on and analyse what we see. And it's really, really hard to make a positive case for Man United progressing under Amorim on the basis of certainly what I've seen.
I think what'll be interesting in this game is, for the likes of Chelsea, there's a Manchester United-Chelsea. For me as a player, that's easy to be very motivated for. And I don't mean this disrespectfully to other teams, but you just know that that's 2 big teams coming together. Brentford away is tricky because there's no outcome.
No.
From a Manchester United point of view, there's no outcome other than a win that's acceptable.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes what I think we've seen this Manchester United team and these players and the manager struggle in these environments because they've not been able to find a way to just suppress that sort of what looks like an anxiousness when you watch them play and just grind out the results like we expect from a Man United team that's spent what they have with the players that they do have.
Yeah, this is one of those games I suppose you have to really hype yourself up as a player, except for mbeumo goes back to his former team. One of the players who left, a part of that critical top 2, mbeumo, has gone to Newcastle. They lost their captain, Christian Orgard. They also lost their manager, all in the same summer. Brentford are struggling.
Really tough to lose your best players and a manager that had done such an exceptional job. That said, I think it was a bit of a rocky start. I think everyone was very ready to scrutinise them. I think Keith Andrews has done a good job. I think he's a calm character. He knows a lot of the players very personally. From what you hear, there's a lot of people respect him very well within the club, you know, players through the rest of the staff. So I have an optimism that they will become a steady team.
Yeah.
I think for anybody to lose, you know, 2, if not 3 of your best players, really tough. Really, really tough.
Okay, well,
we are suffering goals that we suffered also last year. I think that has to be with that urgency, that focus, that understanding that we cannot lose games and especially nowadays we are going to have situations to score, so we need also to focus that if we give time to the team not suffering goals, we are near to win games. So I think that is essential to have that time with the team, and we are improving because of that. And I think we will struggle a lot if we have a game in the middle of the week.
Chris and then Rob.
Hi, Ruben. When we spoke to you in Chicago during the summer, you said there were some games that you would literally dread going to because you weren't sure what you were going to get from your team. If I heard you right before, are you saying the same thing there, that you still don't know exactly what you're going to get from your team?
No, completely different. I know. Now I have always the feeling that we can win the next game and we can be dominant. I have that feeling now. What I'm saying is that sometimes in the small things, in that urgency, if you compare the way we start against Chelsea, that we start compared to the way we start against City, is completely different. In that, I'm not certain all the time what is going to happen, and I'm really clear on that with you and with the players. But the feeling is completely different. I look at my team and I'm going to play against City, Arsenal, and I'm feeling we can score goals, we can be dominant, we can control the game in certain moments. So it's a feeling completely different from last year.
No more fear.
No. I know that is going to be tough, but it's more excitement than fear this year. So I'm always excited to see the team.
You've spoken before about the mentality of the players. I think you said at one point that some of them feel that maybe there's something in the water here, and when they're on the pitch occasionally they feel that something bad's going to happen instead of something good might happen. Do you feel like the players are coming out of that phase a little bit now?
Depends. We need to win the next game. I think if we start winning, it's not 10 wins in a row, 7. I'm talking about the second one, then the third one. If the feeling will change. And again, that is something about the environment that we are living for a while. If you look at Brian in that moments when we are struggling, you feel a different guy compared to the rest of the team. And that is, you have to understand that is some of the guys are here for a while, and that feeling is still here. And for that, we need to win games. Simple.
Samuel and then James.
Hi, Ruben. Just on Brian again, you had to wait a little bit, and the club were a bit frustrated by Brentford maybe trying to sell him to Newcastle or Tottenham. How was that for you? And have you been particularly impressed by how well he started, given that he came in slightly later to pre-season?
Yeah, but he went to pre-season in America. That was really good for us to bond with him in America. He had time to start slowing with 45 minutes. He had time to prepare the season. I knew the player. I watched the player so many times. I watched him live against us last year. It was not a good day. A good day for us. If I'm in.
Did that convince you, sorry to interrupt. Did that convince you that you really wanted to sign him after that performance, possibly?
It was not that performance, but helped me to understand that he's a very good player. Not with the ball, without the ball. And when you see that live, is completely different. When you see a guy doing that, with all due respect, it's not because he's Manchester United. He was in Brentford. He was sometimes defending as a right back sometimes. So that was really important to have that feeling live. And if I'm the manager of the owner of Brentford, I will do the same to keep the best players and try to sell the best players for big amounts. So I completely understand that situation.
Ruben, just on your previous point again about that failure to win back-to-back Premier League games, but the need to do it. Do you think the fact that it's gone on for so long, subconsciously or consciously, it's become a bit of a mental or a psychological thing for the players? And if they can beat Brentford and finally, win back-to-back, do you think it could just release them
I think it's going to help us. I know that is for people outside the club is not a big thing. It should not be a big thing in Manchester United, but I think it's going to help us a lot. So for that, again, it's not about playing well. It's the way we are going to do the warm-up and the preparation. And if we are excited to go to the game, like we are sometimes when we are in the limit and we have to win some games. If we have always that feeling, I think it's going to be massive for us. So it's massive to win this game.
Do you think over the last 10 months, the fact that they haven't, do you think mentally there has been something there has been a barrier?
I don't know, but the important thing is to do the maximum and to face that game like we faced sometimes Liverpool last year, because we were struggling. The way we start the season against Arsenal, we were really excited to start the season. We should have that feeling all the time. So we are in the beginning. We won the last game. We need to do everything to win against Brentford, and we need to win the game.
Ruben, you said earlier that you spoke about the fact that you wanted to win consecutive matches. Was that here, or was it in the dressing room, or was it just generally as the?
It was everywhere. I think if we as a team we don't understand the momentum now, we have a big problem. So again, anything could happen in a game, especially in Premier League, and you can see in every game. But the feeling in the first minutes, it's really important. So for me, since we start the first training, we start talking about that. We need to understand the momentum of the club, the opportunity that we have to win the next game. So it's on us, and the responsibility is on us.
Next question for Richard.
Hi, Ruben. On the same subject about winning back-to-back games, I mean, obviously you've come from a club where you would go on these long winning runs and you do it quite a lot. How's it been for you dealing with that?
It's really hard, but I also understand it's a different club, different pressure, completely different league. But that feeling of winning and to get really normal to win, I struggle a lot. I think also the players. So it's in our hands to change things. We just need to win the next one and to do everything to win the next one.
Reflecting the comments made by Ruben Amorim, the Manchester United manager, the headline, "You choose, you lose," in this article by David McDonnell, he makes the point that Ruben Amorim has warned his United players they cannot pick and choose the games that they turn up and perform in. He's clearly, Mark, pointing at this level of inconsistency that United are performing at the moment, but he's also questioning his own players' mentality, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering which games they've been choosing recently because they haven't won many games. So it's kind of you choose or you lose. It seems to be where it's going at the moment. Look, I think Ruben Amorim is brilliant for us. He says so many things at his press conference on a Friday. Every time we're on this programme, he's the back page because of what he says. But I think sometimes he just has to think, what effect does it have on the players? How does it make him sound? If he doesn't know after 10 months, 10, 12 months in the job that what his team is going to do to him, how are they going to play? Are they going to be motivated? Well, that's on him. That reflects on him and the fact that he's not been able to get any consistency out of the team or the players. So, he should know what he's getting out of this team by now. He should know what sort of performance to put in. And, if he's saying that they're picking and choosing the games, like I said, they haven't picked many. So he needs to start getting some results. The next two games for United are massive. They've got Brentford away and Sunderland at home. Now, no game in the Premier League is easy. Certainly not for a team like Man United right now. But they are two games they should win. Now, they won last week against Chelsea. They haven't won back-to-back league games under Amorim, I don't think. So this is a real chance now for him to win back-to-back games and then build on it next week against Sunderland ahead of, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. They play Liverpool at Anfield after the international break. So he has to start getting some results pretty quickly. And these are two great games for him to do that. But, as he says, you can't say which games his players are going to turn up for and which games they're not going to turn up for. Well, they have to turn up tomorrow and they have to turn up against Sunderland next week.
Yeah, also covered in the back page of The Sun, they've gone with the headline, "No more dread devils, fear we go to here we go" for Amorim. Henry, as Mark mentioned there, every time I'm talking to you two on this programme, it's usually about Manchester United and Ruben Amorim. And not because it's, Manchester United not playing well, but it's because of what the manager has said and the way he's conducted himself in front of the media. I'm so interested to hear what's his ultimate goal here? He says all these things, he gets headlines, seemingly for all the wrong reasons. He said to us before that he's going to be emotional, he's going to be honest. What's the gain here from him speaking so honestly about a world-renowned club like Manchester United to the public?
Well, I mean, reading his quotes, what I took from them was more the sort of the Sun stance than the Mirror stance, and that actually he was being quite upbeat. He was almost implying that actually an element of the dread had gone out of it in terms of that headlines, or "No more dread devils," is that there was a little bit more confidence, and he did feel that they were stepping out to play. Obviously, they're away tomorrow, but when they do step out, there was a little bit more confidence in the team, and you can see it in one or two performances. Obviously, Brian Mbeumo's come in and he's been good. Matthias de Ligt has actually been one of the centre halves. Certainly of this season. So the last 4 or 5 games, I think he's been sort of outstanding for Manchester United. They've clearly got to sort out and bed in a new goalkeeper. Midfield is a problem. Bruno Fernandes is a fantastic player, but he is not a number 8. He's a 10. So they've got to sort that out. There is, of course, the lingering issue over does this formation 3-4-2-1 suit Manchester United, suit the squad, even though he's culled many of the wingers. But actually, his quotes today, I thought actually slightly more in keeping what we would traditionally expect from a Manchester United manager, which is this is the biggest club in the country, the second biggest club in the world. You are supposed to sort of stand up and fight for your club and not necessarily have a bit of swagger, but a little bit of belief and confidence and exude that defiance about him. And I actually thought, just reading some of his quotes, that he did that today.
Interesting, because he also said that he never knows which version of Manchester United will turn up. If you don't know that as the Manchester United manager, Mark, who does?
Good question. Look, he's got a team, he's got a squad of players that even now he doesn't quite trust, I don't think. He needs a midfielder. He needs to sort out the goalkeeping situation. He may not have even signed the goalkeeper he wants by signing Sonny Lamond. So he's having to get his new team playing the way he wants in his new formation with a squad of players that aren't quite familiar with it. But, you know, as we've said before in this programme, he has to compromise sometimes and be a bit more pragmatic and play a system that maybe suits the players he has. If the players he has doesn't suit the way he wants to play, he'll never know what he's going to get because the players don't know what the system means, that how the system is supposed to be played, and they haven't got the right players to play the system. So if he doesn't know what he's going to get, that's on him because he's putting this team together and he's putting the tactics together. So again, I think everybody at United needs to kind of look at themselves a little bit, especially Amorim, and say, look, are we doing it as well as we can? And Amorim is the one person at the club who's not changing anything. He's not looking in the mirror and saying, this isn't working, let's change it. Look, it worked last week against Chelsea. It might work tomorrow against Brentford, and this might be the start of a rise for Man United, but results and performances don't suggest that's going to be the case.
Under fire, Man United head coach Ruben Amorim was able to breathe a sigh of relief last weekend after his Red Devils outfit capitalised on Robert Sanchez's fifth-minute dismissal to secure a priceless 2-1 win over Chelsea in torrential rain at Old Trafford. Victory by any means necessary was needed for Amorim after watching his Man United side endure their poorest start to a PL campaign after 4 matches for points since 1992-93. Negativity still lingers on the red side of Manchester, but the 20-time champions are now level on points with rivals Man City and sit above the likes of Newcastle, Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa, who all qualified for Europe last season. After 5 Premier League games this term, Man United have had the most shots, 81. Saturday's opponents Brentford have had the fewest, 41, while the Red Devils are averaging 16.2 shots per match, which is greater than the 13.9 average under Amorim last season. Their XG per game has also increased from 1.33 to 2.03. While scoring goals against Brentford has not been an issue for Man United in recent years, as they have made the net ripple in 11 of their last 13 meetings across all competitions, the Red Devils head to the Tech winless in their last 7 away games in the top-flight D2L5. They last endured a longer run without an away victory between March and October 2019-8. Man United, who have lost 15 of their last 24 visits to London, suffered a 4-3 defeat in their last trip to Brentford in May, and Amorim's side are in danger of losing back-to-back meeting with the Bees for only the 3rd time, after previously losing successive games in the second tier in December 1934 and in the top division in February 1937. Brentford duo Gustavo Nunes and Paris Maghoma have both made progress in their recovery from hamstring injuries and will be assessed ahead of kick-off, but it remains to be seen whether they will be included in the matchday squad if fit. Aware that Amorim's Man United will persist with a 3-at-the-back system, Andrews will weigh up whether to stick with a 3-5-2 formation or switch to a back for this weekend. Jordan Henderson has impressed in recent weeks and could link arms in centre midfield with highly rated 21-year-old Yeri Yarmolenko, while Kevin Shade scored a brace in Brentford's 4-3 home win over Man United last season, and he is poised to retain his starting spot in attack next to Igor Thiago. As for the Red Devils, Casemiro will serve a 1-match suspension